He was on a there you go, dialysis. That's why the potassium and the phosphorus there. Again, the kidneys, but here's the adrenal glands on top, controlling the sodium potassium pump, etc., etc., etc. They're so worried about that in terms of cells, sodium out, potassium in, and keeping the osmotic pressures, so there's absorptions and blah, 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 blah. There's a lot to this that better is one keeps it simple. It's one thing to go out and study some chemistry and okay, but always understand how nature works, no matter how we perceive chemistry, because perception is only viewed through conditioned thinking. So again, we have to take what works, what is applied, how we see nature as the largest laboratory that we have access to, how it works, and how can we work with science to fit that glove. He was on dialysis for a period of time. His kidney needed it, only by 1%, 25% total function. On top of this, he is chronically anemic and has to get a Procrit shot about once every 6 weeks. Well, his adrenals are down. He has also been gaining weight unexpectedly. Most of this is due to his eating in I'm sure, however, he was started to retain a lot of fluids. Well, he's in kidney failure, man. I mean, he's in kidney failure. You got to get the kidneys back in him. Again, I would do 2 kidney formulas on him, move those lymphs. That's it's all tied to that whole thing, and get him on an adrenal. This is where a cytotrophin or glandular would be very advantageous to him. Get a strong one if it was me. Adrenal 160s or something we have here. Someone did say something about the excipicants that are in these labs. I hate these labs. So that's all I can say. I hate these labs. They're too chemical thinkers. And this is the problem. This is why I left that field a long time ago. This is why I don't want anything to do with that field, because here we go. And and I love these places that are going only 3 ingredients. I mean, I was looking at some dog food, only 4 ingredients, only 3. Thank God, let's get back to only 2 ingredients, only 3 ingredients. Thank you. Where did we get so lost that we pile these excipicants and all these other things in these formulas? It's bullcrap. So, yeah, I know. We're doing our best in trying to get everything. I'm going to come out with my own glandulars, pure as you can get. But it's getting resources, I'm familiar with Dr. Ron's and all that. I know this because none of them are even looked into the issue about where the blood could be going and what is causing his anemia, and have solely been focusing on maintaining his current state. What can I do for him? He has started mentioning talking to holistic doctors. Well, it's about time, Dad. I can't think of anyone. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. Well, let Dad view these videos, and particularly this one, because Dad needs to get his act together or he's not going to be Dad anymore. Dad, you got to get your kidneys in shape, and you can't put proteins down or you'll lose your kidneys. Proteins is why we lose our kidneys. Been way too many studies done. Same reason we lose our colon and GI tract. So you really got to stay away from all proteins, all starch. Get yourself back on a pure fruit and vegetable diet, the only diet worthy. And with your state like this, I'd say the vegetables. Stay with the fruits, berries, and melons. Easier on the kidneys, cleansing to the kidneys, with exception of beet. And I would do a green drink. I could take that fiber out and do a green drink. You would do beet bulbs, the beet bulbs. You do parsley, dandelion green. You could throw spinach, any of the other ones, celery in there, sodium, potassium. They might not like that. You might have to leave the celery out for a little while. but go down your fruits and berries and melons line. Very powerful in restoration of the kidneys and the nervous system. Get in the adrenals, all the berries, blueberries, blackberries. I'd go after my adrenal glands. They control the kidney function, but they also control all the other things you're going to see with him. What can I, let me see here. I have taken enough of your time. Okay, no, okay, Eddie. You know what? You're right. Dad's in trouble. Dad needs to get himself straight. And get on the program and pull himself out of this. The more antibiotics, the more difficult it's going to be to pull yourself out of this. That's the problem. This isn't a bacterial problem. Hello, Dr. Morse. Can you please address this concern for me? I spoke with a doctor who specializes in the liver. I told him about my diet. He said consuming excess amounts of fruit is very bad for the liver. Oh, crap. Well, I suppose you're going to have thousands of primates that disagree with you, and millions of islanders are probably going to disagree with him too. And it's funny, you know, I can get liver cancer in here, I can get cirrhosis in here, I can get hep C in here. That's funny too, because you know I use fruits and berries and melons to go after those cases, and you know what's funny? We hardly ever lose a case like that. You know that's funny? I rarely lose a liver cancer case. I rarely lose cirrhosis of the liver. I rarely lose hep C. I don't know what they're thinking about. Fruits are hard on the liver. This guy's definitely smoking something in the back room. Probably not. As a medical doctor, he's probably injecting something in the back room. Half the town here in Port Charlotte's on cocaine. I mean, this is unreal. A lot of people don't realize what's going on out there. I mean, a lot of people are very naive when it comes to the medical profession. Very naive. Like they have some kind of ethical nature that's beyond reproach. Right. Yeah, that doesn't exist, guys. Let me tell you. Very aware of a lot of medical doctors. Love them, love some of them, love the good guys. And the same thing with naturopaths. You know, you got the bad and the good in everything. I'm not downing all allopathy, but allopathy has to make radical changes. Time. Drop the AMA, get them out of here, and you guys form your own associations and start helping people. That Deepak and Wild run it. Can you please explain to me how fructose affects the liver and what role the liver has with fructose? Well, again, their theory is that the liver transmutes fructose into glucose, and I disagree with that theory. And I've said that before, and why? Because you can put a type 1 diabetic who has insulin production problems from the beta cells in the islets. They're having problems with that. So glucose requires an insulin carrier, which is a hormone carrier, to take glucose through a cell wall. Now, fructose doesn't need a carrier because it is by diffusion. However, the theory is that fructose is converted by the liver to glucose. The problem with that in type 1, then, it would be an unusable sugar. Therefore, glucose would elevate in the blood sugar, and you do not see that. You see the opposite. Matter of fact, all our type 1s, most of them, you got brittles, real brittles out there, which exception to some of these rules, but you can put a type 1 diabetic on glucose, which is vegetables, and their blood sugar will stay high. Put them on fructose, and the blood sugar stabilizes. We're talking about natural fruit sugar. We're not talking about fructose, which you can buy in the store as a processed sugar. So I don't know what he's talking about. He's thinking that fructose damages the liver. These sugars are simple sugars, and there's no reason to convert a fructose to glucose. That's like assuming that that vegetables are superior foods because of their glucose content, and I think that's asinine thinking. So this is partly where science differs from actual practice and clinicals and what you actually see. These theories run rampant and show more stupidity and what's not really going on in nature, because this is not true. I put all my liver conditions on fruits, berries, and melons, and what you see is a regeneration of the liver and the movement of the lip. So I don't know where this guy is coming from, but obviously not from a position of authority or knowledge. Babe and Earl, how many days of this? April 16th, day 250 of juice fasting. Where's that Guinness World of World Records, Book of World Records? We need to get a hold of them. You are by far busting all the records I know of. My God, wear your gold stars proud, dear one. Still moving limp. Warm hugs and kisses to you guys. Man, this lady is kicking B-U-T-T. Love it, dear one. Just love. Well, wait a minute. You should be in liver failure right now. Yeah, when you see elevated liver enzymes, you go on a fruit and berry and melon diet. Guess what happens to the liver enzymes? Oops, going back to normal. I mean, this kind of crap out there, I'm telling you, there's so much of this. You see why it's important for all of you and me to bond and become strong, because you guys are actually showing in actual real time, in an actual clinical work, you're actually showing what these diets do. Then don't let them figure out the chemistry of it, because you're actually seeing the benefits and the result of that. let them worry about the chemistry. We don't care because it's too confusing. And if you get confused, all of this will fade away from you. You'll disempower yourself, and suddenly you'll lose yourself. There's the brainos, let them figure it out. But I've worked with chemistry for a lot of years in all ways. I've listened to different biochemistry theories, including Dr. Carrie Reams. I did Reams treatment for a long time, all of these things. And it's like, nah, I never found nothing better much. All my clients spent a lot of money on supplements and never got much better. Shifted the other way of thinking to holistic, more natural fruits, berries, and what is actually food designed for physiology and anatomy, and there you found, besides what you're taught in biochemistry, now you found the living reality of what it is. And it's just, you know, every vertebrae is differently designed in terms of the 4 classes, and we have to consider that in physics and chemistry. You just have to consider a whole pile of things, and it's just tough. You know, if you look too close in a microscope, you lose perspective. Oh, fellow spring baby, Balance Beauty blog. Yeah, it was my birthday. Thanks a lot, guys. I don't know who got wind of that, but I'm going to find out. There's hell to pay. Thanks for the cards and stuff. You know, we just love you guys and appreciate every ounce of your work and your dedication to this, because I'm very serious-minded, obviously, when it comes to these health issues, because this planet has been stupid too long. We got to get it awakened and start having some fun. People have no fun out there. Governments don't understand. You take the joy out of living in your people, and they're going to come after you. You know, this is just what's happening. That same old cyclic, historic issue about greed. Negative forces, you know. This is KA14, Animal 00. Thanks, Doc. Thanks. I appreciate your comment there. And particularly, Bill Barrow, you really are the... Thanks. And listen, I want you guys to know, thanks for those that are sending in some donations. I don't like handling those, to be honest with you, because I don't want anybody to come back on me. But to be honest with you, we've got several people. We match all that, obviously, and then some by far. Where someone sends in 100, we're probably giving away 500 or 600. So just that kind of way, you know. But there are definitely people out there that we're working with that really appreciate your help. And I'm real excited about this lady, as I said, I think she's a quadriplegic, so that'll be good. Dr. Morse, what's the best water to drink for everyday drinking? I really like it mineralized mountain water, spring water, in glass. Hard to get. This one's from Italy. Still pH isn't up where I'd like it to be, but Avion, I've been by their plant in France, beautiful place up in the Alps and stuff, but they use plastic. If they use water, their pH is about 8. I like that sort of thing. I like about an 8 pH. Because remember, in chemistry, acidosis really starts at around 7.25 or a little less. So, you know, this is why it's so important. But then alkalosis starts above 9. So we really, you know, you got to watch all that. This is about balance, actually, more than anything else, with the accent on the base chemistry side. And it's just how these anions and cations work, you know. It's just the whole thing. The distilled and reverse osmosis, I have a whole house RO system. I love that because it keeps all the pipes clean and stuff. It does have the ability to leach a little bit, though. So you have to have put a little calcium or something in there to keep it from leaching a little bit on your pipes. But again, it's just, nothing's perfect out there. And I think that's the beauty of what trees do for us in taking water and purifying it, and we get it through the fruits and the berries and the melons. That's the best way to get your water, in my opinion, is through the food sources. An all-raw food diet doesn't leave one with a lot of thirst. You'll see my tea here will be here all day, and I might have 3-4 sips out of it when it's tea. Same with water. I'm pretty much raw most of the time, or at least 80%. I do bad stuff once in a while, no question about it.